The world is changing. The way we work is changing. And for many brilliant artists, the change was sudden and painful. Studios closed, projects paused, and just like that, hundreds, thousands of skilled artists from companies like Technicolor were left behind. These were the minds behind Hollywood blockbusters, behind epic visuals, the ones who made dragons fly, cities explode, heroes come alive. And now, they are looking at what's next. Some joined a candle march, a silent walk to say, we were here, we mattered, and we stood united. Yes, the walk was important. It showed solidarity, it showed strength, but now we need something more. We need a new chapter, one where your creativity pays the bills and your art pays the taxes. This is your comeback story, and one thing you'll meet along the way is a little monster called GST, Goods and Services Tax. It sounds like government-level math, something boring, something scary, but it's not. Let me simplify it. GST is tax we pay when we sell or buy something, a product or a service. If you're an artist, freelancer, a small studio, or a new startup, you need to know GST because this is how the system tracks money flow in your business. Before GST, there were many different taxes. It was like a messy paint palette. Now, GST puts them all into one clean color. There are three main types of GST: CGST, SGST, and IGST. CGST goes to central government, SGST goes to state government, and IGST is used when you sell across the state lines. Simple, right? To get GST registration, you need a PAN, Permanent Account Number. This is a 10-character code from the Income Tax Department. It looks something like this on the screen. The first three letters is random. The fourth letter is the important one. It tells what kind of taxpayer you are. P stands for person, C stands for company, F is a firm, H means Hindu undivided family, and so on. The fifth letter is your surname. So if your last name is Ray, this will be R. Then comes the four numbers. These are random again to make the code unique. And then finally, the last letter. This is a special check code generated by the system to make sure your PAN number is real and not fake. Once you register with the PAN number, you get the GST number called GSTIN. This is now a 15 characters unique code. Look at this. Looks complex, but it's really not. It's just the state code in the front, like West Bengal is 19, Maharashtra is 27, and other states would have different codes. And then you have a number that defines how many branches you own. If you're new, then it's going to be 1. And if you have 5 branches, it's going to be 5, and so on. The next letter is just Z. It's a default number. It will have its own use in the future maybe, but for now, everybody gets a default Z. And then comes another check digit. This is again generated by the system to make sure that your number is real and not fake. So that's your GST number. It's like your superhero badge, and it tells the government this is your business and this is how much you earn. This is important because whenever you send an invoice or you get one, it tracks two things: GST in purchase and GST in sales. Let's say you have a new laptop or maybe a plugin or a software license. You pay GST. This is your input. Now, when you sell a service like animation, compositing, VFX, you charge GST. This is your output. When you file your GST return, the system calculates GST on sales minus GST on purchases. And you pay only the difference, not the whole amount. But if you forget to keep track and you don't keep records properly, you might end up paying GST twice, and nobody wants that. This is why it's important that you record every step. Find the link in the description. You will find a free GST record sheet made for artists. Just fill the date, invoice number, GST and amount, etc., and it will calculate everything for you, and you don't have to break your creative flow. Now, you might be asking, what if I'm dealing with a business that does not have a GST number? No problem. You can still sell. Just mark them as unregistered. But remember, you can't claim input tax credit from them. And remember the GST rates. They are not the same for everything. Understand the categories like 0% for milk or school fees, etc., things like that. 5% would be for tea, medicines, and things like that. 12% for electronic devices like phone, computers, and all that. 18% is the most common, and it applies to our creative services, VFX, motion design, web development, etc. And then goes to 28% GST for a luxury item like perfumes, high-end electronics, tobacco, etc., etc. Once you understand this, you know the basics of GST. So you understand GST is not a villain, it's just a tool, and it helps the system trust your business more. It helps you grow, and you already know how to make impossible world feel real. Just understand this little numeric system and you'll be standing out like a superhero in this VFX industry. Let's not wait for the next studio to come out and save us. Let's build something better by ourselves, where you own your work and you own your time and you keep what you earn. Show the world that artists are not just dreamers, they are doers, and this is your second act, and it's going to be beautiful. I'll make another video. I'll see you next time. But until then, please have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a good night.